Today, what we're going to look at is some of the best niches for SEO to rank number one. And I'm going to break down all the workflows, all the tools you can use, how to do this step by step. And this is one of the best ways to find high paying, money making niches that you can actually rank in. And we're just going to get straight into it. Plus, I'm going to break down everything into a step by step SOP. Let's go. Now, what I've actually done here is create a Google Sheets template tracker that you can actually use to find niches based on what's working for me, right? So this is basically how I've always picked niches that perform pretty well when it comes to making money. Basically, you're going to fill out the niche, examples of low domain rating websites ranking, because we want to find low authority sites ranking in that particular niche. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard to compete if it's all authority sites. Ideally, we want to find at least 50 low keyword difficulty keywords for that particular niche, but I'll cover that in more detail in a minute. We'll look through some of the best monetization methods and how to pick them. And also we want to see, okay, am I actually passionate or slightly optimistic or interested in this subject? If that's like a 0 out of 10, then I don't think you have to be like obsessed with the subject that you're going to be talking about. But at the same time, you do want to find something that you have some sort of interest in. Otherwise, you're probably going to abandon the project. And finally, overall score as well. So basically, how well did these 4 columns perform? We might add some more to that, but that's basically what we're going to start out with for now. And if you want to get access to that, I'm going to create this step-by-step SOP with all the templates, trackers, and tools that I mentioned today so that you or your team can easily follow this. Now, just for the sake of ease, we're going to focus on the US and English-based markets today. Foreign markets are typically a lot easier to compete in, but I think just for the sake of niche research, etc., we can focus on English for now. Now, if you're stuck for ideas and that sort of thing, what you can actually do is go to ClickBank and their marketplace, as you can see right here. And if we go over to top offers, we can filter by the gravity score. Basically, that's a score based on the number of unique affiliates generating sales. And this just gives us some inspiration for what we could talk about. Now, a lot of these keywords, as you can see right here, are health related. I wouldn't recommend going into health related topics unless you're willing to hire a doctor for your content. It's going to get very expensive, it's going to be very messy, etc. You might need an expert. And also, if you put out the wrong information, it's quite dangerous, right? So I wouldn't recommend going after health related topics. And also bear in mind, like, some of these topics are actually quite spammy. So for example, if we go to self-help over here, we can look at some of the top converting offers. And once we've found an offer that looks interesting, what you can actually do is plug that into Ahrefs or any sort of tool similar to this, like SEO Ranking or SEMrush, and you can check which pages are actually linking to this one and sort by page traffic. So pages that are actually ranking on Google that are linking directly to this page. Now, if you see some low DR sites pointing to it directly, that gives you an idea of whether you can realistically compete or not. I'm just going to filter this to 1 link per domain so that we filter out any duplicates. And that gives us an idea of a potential niche we could go into, whether we could realistically compete. So anything below DR30 is usually a good sign, especially if it's getting traffic. Additionally, what you can actually do is take the website that's linking out to this affiliate page. So for example, this website right here is linking out to this affiliate right here. And if they're a low DR site, we can look at, okay, how are they competing and what sort of keywords are they going for, right? So we can see this particular website ranking for 13,700 traffic. It's been okay since all the updates. If we actually have a look over the last 6 months since the helpful content update, we can see they're actually performing really well. And if we go to the organic keywords right here, we can look at what sort of keywords they're going for, whether it's realistic for us to compete. And if we look down the list of keywords right here, you can see that this site is ranking for loads of low competition keywords. It's kind of like the spiritual dating niche, as you can see right here. You can actually see from this particular list, so we've got 50 results per page, that we have loads of keywords with a KD lower than 10. So we can put yes in our column right here. We can plug this example site into column B as examples of low DR sites ranking. We can also look at how they're monetizing their website, so we know that they're using ClickBank products. And also, if you take a look at their website, they're actually using ads as well to monetize. And then you just look through the competitor site that you've actually found, look at their monetization methods, right? So for example, are they monetizing with ads or ClickBank or courses, etc.? And how passionate are you about the topic, right? So there's probably some people watching this and they're like, no chance am I doing a website about spiritual dating. But from here, you can get an overall feel and an overall score for how well this is performing. Now, ideally, you don't want to just find one DR30 competing. You want to find multiple spiritual dating websites or whatever niche you're looking at with a low DR competing pretty well. Now, what you can actually do if you want to find more competitors is we can go to organic competitors on Ahrefs over here, and then we can go through the list. Now, we can also sort by DR in this column to find lower domain rating websites ranking. Again, this is super important because if you're trying to rank with like DR 80s in the top 10, you've just got no chance as a new competing website coming in unless you're very, very good at building backlinks. Maybe you own a link building agency or something. Now, if we sort by DR, and then we also look at the traffic as well, we can see that there are some, for example, DR 0.2 websites getting traffic, but that's not a lot of traffic for a website, right? Especially this, you wouldn't look at them as a website to model, essentially. But we could take this website down here. Be getting okay traffic is not as good as the competitor we currently have. And additionally, what we can also do is if we go down to keywords over here, we can look at some of these keywords, look at the first page of Google. Ideally, we want to see at least 2 or 3 low DR sites competing on the first page of Google. Now, additionally, what you're also going to find is other niche ideas as you go through, right? So we can see, for example, a DR9 right here competing for similar keywords related more to like charisma and stuff like that. But they are ranking in the SERPs, they are getting traffic, they are a low DR site. And if we check out the keywords, we can reverse engineer, okay, what else are they going for? And how are they monetizing? And then again, you can just loop round, add the next niche, add examples of websites, check if they've got lots of low KD keywords, monetization methods, etc. Now, this is really important as well. I see a lot of people who find niches and they start ranking, but then 9 months down the line, they have no idea how they're going to monetize the content once they actually start ranking. So for me, for example, I think it's important to focus on money, not views, right? I mean, if you look at my most recent videos, for example, these might get less views, but actually, that's totally fine if they convert better. So for example, I could get like 100,000 views on a video. If it doesn't convert into leads or sales, then what's the point, right? And it's the same with niche research. So this column is probably the most important out of all of them. No point spending 9 months trying to rank for a keyword that doesn't make any money. Actually, if you look at all 3 of these ways of making money right here, ads is okay, but I think that's slowly dying out. ClickBank, okay, but you actually only get a tiny percentage of the sale and the revenue. But courses and info products are probably where you're going to make the most money. You know, usually they have very high profit margins. And if you sell an info product, so you have more control over the monetization process, right? Whereas, for example, ClickBank, you have less control, you're relying on other suppliers, and you're going to get a lower percentage in terms of sales. So just to recap, we have covered 2 different methods already for niche research, right? So number 1 is check out the ClickBank marketplace, find high gravity products, reverse engineer who's linking to that page, do the competitor research from there using this tracker right here, and focus on low DR websites. Method number 2 is to check out organic competitors, then check out their keywords and find and analyze other low DR sites ranking for those keywords. And again, you will build out and find more niches from here. Now, another opportunity that a lot of people overlook, I think, in SEO right now, is actually going for relevant keywords in local areas, right? Now, for me, when I'm trying to rank with local SEO, I'm not trying to go for the maps listings. Instead, I'm trying to go for organic. That's just a personal preference, and I think that the maps listings are basically a totally different algorithm. So how do I do this? And I only want to teach you methods that actually work for me. Now, this is great if you already have a service or a product in mind that you want to sell. So let's say, for example, you are an SEO expert, right? You're like, okay, I want to rank for SEO expert related stuff, but I don't know where to go or what to go for. I can have a look at matching terms inside Ahrefs, and you can use any tool you want for this. We're going to look for low keyword difficulty keywords right here. And if we go down the list right now, we can see that actually there's loads of keywords that we could still rank for that are very, very easy, right? So we've got Shopify SEO expert, attorney SEO expert, best SEO expert, WordPress SEO expert, etc., that we can go through down the list. And if you look at a lot of these keywords, for example, you'll see, for example, San Jose expert, Oklahoma City SEO expert, California SEO expert. Like if you went for a website that was just SEO expert directory listings and you either charged other people to be on the website to advertise, or you sold your own services, there's actually quite a lot of keywords you could actually compete with, right? So we've got 345 keywords right here. We can see by the CPC that these have commercial intent and commercial value because people are actually bidding organically for these particular keywords. Otherwise, the CPC would be 0. But again, we need to find low DR sites ranking. So what we can actually do is, for example, if we look at the keyword Shopify SEO expert, we can see it's got decent traffic potential. We can see the keyword difficulty is pretty easy right here. And if we scroll down to the first page, we can see that the domain rating of some of these websites is super low, but they're still ranking and they're still getting traffic to their site. So what we can do from there is we can check out that low DR site ranking and we can see what sort of keywords they're going for. Now, here's the thing as well. Like I said before, the traffic actually doesn't matter, right? So for example, if we plug this into our spreadsheet right here, we've got an example of a DR2, which is very, very low. That website doesn't have many backlinks or much authority at all. We've found multiple low keyword difficulty keywords that we can rank for, as we talked about before. So we've actually found 345 low competition keywords. You could easily monetize with ads. You could potentially sell directory listings. For example, you've got websites like Clutch out there that monetize their websites with directory listings. And you could also sell a service. Now, if you're an SEO expert, for example, your passion for that project might be like 9 out of 10. And even though the traffic is low for this particular niche, that's okay, because you could land some clients who are like worth $10,000 or $20,000, right? That's the reality of SEO if they're paying you for a service and you're giving value. Now, what you can actually do is you can take the data from the spreadsheet that you've filled out, and ideally you want to have like 10 or 15 or 20 different niches inside the spreadsheet. And you can say to ChatGPT, okay, objectively analyze which of these niches is the best. And then ChatGPT, as you can see right here, is going to look at the pros and the cons of each niche that you found and finally give you a verdict based on the breakdown, right? So it's actually analyzed the different niches and then objectively told you which one is the best. Now, this works best if it's like 10 or 15 different niches, but this method works very, very well. And so once you have 10 to 20 different niches, analyze the best options, you can use something like this, run it through your favorite tool, and just look at the pros and cons, plus the overall verdict. And before you go ahead, right, there's a few other things that you need to realize. So number one is, can you actually produce the best content on that topic? Because it might be like low DR sites can compete, but it's because their content is really, really good. Another one is, do you have enough EAT, right? So are you an expert, or can you find an expert to actually create and write the content? This is becoming more and more important. So for example, I ran this poll yesterday. It's already got 89 votes right here. And you can see how important EAT is becoming when it comes to ranking in the eyes of most SEOs. So if you can't produce any signs of expertise, authoritativeness, experience, and trust on your website, it's going to be very, very difficult to actually rank. And one other thing I would say is, like, can you actually commit to this project, right? So I see loads of SEOs just start loads of different websites, but they don't make money from any of them. Final thing I would say is give it 7 days to 2 weeks before going ahead, right? This is probably the most important decision you're going to make when it comes to SEO and your website. And if you just rush into it, then you might have like 1 year of work to do without getting any results. So that's it. I've covered 5 different ways to do niche research, as we've talked about right here. Plus, I've given you the niche research template tracker. There are many other ways to do SEO niche research, but these are some of the ways that have worked for me previously. And if you want me to cover even more niche research methods in even more detail, feel free to comment below or ask any questions that you have. If you want to get free access to all the prompts, templates, and workflows that we've talked about today, along with a bunch of other tutorials, you can get free access to that inside the SEO niche research section of my free course. Links in the comments and description. So the SOP is right here, as you can see, and you can get free access to that. If you do want to book in a free SEO strategy session about how to get more leads, traffic, and sales with SEO, feel free to book there, and we'll show you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visitors per month and generate thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot with SEO. And you'll basically get an SEO domination plan. We'll answer any questions that you have, and you'll discover how to outrank your competitors. Feel free to book that in. It's completely free, and links in the comments and description. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.